Hello everybody, this is Gazagoji speaking, and today I am against the final 16 of Goji Center's Great Hybrid War. After the first failed attempt by Diablosaurus gigantes, it's time for round 2. Starting with the base genome, I picked Triceratops horridus, providing the overall body shape, ball socket joints at the neck and shoulders level for a wider range of motion, and its cranium, or more specifically, its horns, frill, beak composition, and extra jaw musculature, which will work in tandem with an upcoming additive. After that, I added Supersaurus viviani for its larger size and mass, air sacs and honeycomb-like hollow chambers in some of its bones for greater stamina and to better support its larger proportions, and lastly, its hind limb, pelvis, and tail anatomy, allowing it to take on a tripod stance. Now, I know that it's not 100% confirmed that it can do so due to lack of studies on the matter, but I have a fix for that. Next up is none other than the Tyrant Lizard King himself, with its overpowered bite that needs no introduction, robust skeletal frame including its thick gastralia, heightened intelligence, and acute senses. I also added Arctotherium angustidens, the largest bear to ever exist, with some specimens being able to stand at a height of 14 feet when rearing up on their hind limbs and weighing approximately 3,800 pounds. To put that into perspective, that's the height of a fully grown Tyrannosaurus rex and the weight of an adult Allosaurus fragilis. So yeah, these guys were no joke, and they were very successful predators of their time, which was due to many factors, such as their omnivorous diet, which meant that they weren't picky eaters, feeding on roots and vegetation alongside their predator/scavenger lifestyle, alongside their heightened intelligence common amongst bears, and aggression, and most importantly, its armaments, from which I'll be taking its front limb anatomy and augmentations to the hind limbs. Thus, the forelimbs can act as a lethal weapon, as it can crush bone and shred through skin and flesh with its ginormous claws, and the hind limbs are now better adapted for rearing up as previously mentioned. And to top it all off, the increased length of its legs would now allow it to run significantly faster, especially since Arctotherium was capable of running at the same speed of a grizzly bear despite being 2 times the size, not to mention bolstering the sense of smell by a large margin. Then I added Minmipar vertebra for its strong yet lightweight armor on its neck, back, tail, and even underbelly, combined with its proportionally long legs for an ankylosauridae that allowed it to run faster, maximizing congruity. The next genetic additive in my hybrid's genome is Kentrosaurus aethiopicus for augmentations to the pelvis to generate stronger swings with its tail that's now equipped with a spiky thagomizer, not to mention its shoulder spikes for extra defense. The dodo bird makes itself present in this genome by augmenting the sense of smell and intelligence, as well as granting my hybrid a major psychological boost by completely removing the concept of fear from his mind, given that they had virtually no predators during their existence, which still would be an advantage given how my hybrid is built. But the most important contribution is its hooked beak, adapted for its omnivorous diet and self-defense. The last extinct genetic additive in my hybrid's genome is Dinocrocuta gigantea, the largest hyena of all time. These bad boys add on to the hybrid's skeletal frame, making it better built for standing heavy blunt force trauma, in addition to providing its refined musculature for a balanced mix of power and endurance, especially with its long legs that allow it to run quickly for long distances, a great boost to congruity. Adding on to that, the strong stomach acids adapted for scavenging and dissolving strong organic material can protect from diseases as well, but the epitome of their contributions is situated at the skull. Besides increasing my hybrid's fearlessness by instinctively hunting animals larger than itself, enhancing my hybrid's already great senses from T-Rex, it also works in tandem with the trike's frill to increase the attachment area for the adductor mandibular externus muscle, increasing bite strength, not to mention reinforcing the tooth composition with heavy amounts of enamel, rendering my hybrid's jaws very well built for crushing sauropod bones, especially since Dinocrocuta can already crush proboscidean bones all by itself. I'm also including its robust canines, which will be situated at the front of the jaws where the weakest bite force will be. These will be adapted for penetrating through dense layers of muscle and armor and asserting a good grip. Moving on from the extinct genetic additives to the extinct genetic additives, I'm starting off with the Gamodo Dragon, which adds a bolstered immune system, greater intelligence, UV vision, as well as its center of gravity so that my hybrid can now properly switch between a quadrupedal stance and a tripod stance. Furthermore, it adds a major boost to my hybrid's weaponry. Starting with the jaws, it adds greater neck musculature, iron-coated teeth, and venom/bacterial saliva. As for the claws, it reinforces their composition with beta-carotene, and for the tail, it sacrifices the whip-like tail tip from Supersaurus for a blunt, more muscular tip to better mount its Stagomizer on, as well as making it better adapted for rearing up, not to mention their aggression that supplements that of the Trike, T-Rex, Artotherium, and Dinocorcuta. Alongside the North American porcupine, for quills all over its body except the face and underbelly, which shouldn't be too detrimental as you'll see why in a bit. It also adds extra iron coating strictly to the canines to help further preserve them. However, we will not incorporate its constant tooth growth, as that would be more of a drawback than an advantage. Coming back from the 1.0 version is the Thorny Devil, which provides spikes all over its body, which when combined with Minmi's armor, make my hybrid well armored from every single angle. In addition to adding congruity with the tripod stance, well, sorta, and granting my hybrid the ability to drink water from its feet to sustain itself more easily. Another animal that made a comeback from the original genome is the reindeer, which really adds on a lot in terms of congruity, providing higher oxidative capacity to the muscles, most notably the legs, for an even greater balance of stamina and power, alongside reinforcements to the cranium and neck for withstanding strong head bashes when charging at his opponents. And lastly, its Taptum lucidum for even better UV vision, especially in the dark. In addition, this hybrid has scalyfoot gastropod armor for a symbiotic relationship with gamma proteobacteria that can break down minerals like iron sulfide, pyrite, greigite, etc. and embed them to, typically, its shell, using an incorporation method that increases strength without adding excess weight. This incorporation method will be granted to my hybrid, strengthening its teeth, claws, horns, beak, Thagomizer, and armor without affecting its mobility by much. And lastly, we have the Nile crocodile, which adds a reinforced immune system, bolstered senses, greater energy efficiency, allowing my hybrid to survive without food for extended periods of time, and most importantly, it gives my hybrid faster reflexes. Using the sensory pits in its snout, which act as motion sensors, Nile crocodiles possess a reaction time of 50 milliseconds. Now granted, my hybrid still wouldn't move as gracefully as an Indown 2.0 for instance, but this adaptation should allow him to work around the superior mobility of smaller, more nimble opponents much more easily. All of these animals compile together to give us, drumroll please, Spinosaurus rex, name meaning the Saurian king of thorns, codenamed Sultan. Height, 6.7 meters or 22 feet at his quadrupedal stance, 40 meters or 46 feet at his tripod stance. Length, 20 meters or 65.6 feet, and weight, 29 tons. If I had to describe this juggernaut of a hybrid in one word, it would be versatility. From his diverse feeding habits to his various combat tactics, this is a jack of all trades, master of all hybrid. A large arsenal of OP armaments to take down a variety of different animals, both big and small. Impenetrable armor that covers every part of his body ensures no loopholes in his defense. Heightened intelligence, aggression, and fearlessness make it a smart but fierce combatant that will not back down from any fight. And surprising locomotive efficiency and stamina allow it to move quickly and gracefully without any lack in pace for extended periods of time. The amount of pain the final 16 are gonna feel will be more than just a little prick. And that's all for today. I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and be sure to tune in next time when I create a hybrid to counter either Goji Guy's Vex or Reiner or Hair Sting's Catastrophe 1.1 or Pixel Studios Tartaros. I don't know, man. There are really many targets on my side currently. So again, I'd like to thank you so very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.